selling double glazing, and one of my friends contacted me and said, you know, if you work for this guy, which was on the Isle of Dogs, they'll give you a Golf GTI. And I was like, well, at the moment, I haven't got a company car.
Okay, what year is that?
I don't know, early.
Well, what Mark Golf was it? Mark T?
No, it was a Mark III. So Dragon Green Mark III.
Was it the big bumper model?
Yes.
Like the ones that yuppies used to drive?
Yeah, it was a yuppie mobile. Yeah. And I was given this and I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I took that because I just didn't have a car. And now I had a car. And I was young and I wanted a car and I wanted it to be a Golf GTI, and it wasn't. It was fairly new and it was fairly cool. Bearing in mind I wasn't being driven around in my dad's latest Bentleys or, you know, Ferraris or anything like that. And
he didn't buy a Ferrari, bought an Aston Martin because the Ferrari wouldn't start.
Yeah, well, so so I didn't have none of that, right? So everything had to come, had to be produced, and that was interesting. So I started working as an estate agency on the Isle of Dogs for a guy that owned Romford Dog Track. So
where we used to race dogs.
Yeah, where you used to race dogs.
We used to, not you.
No, we did have a dog. Yeah. So you know, and I started there and I went there, and someone in similar story to you. I went in for an interview, so I had to go see someone. And back in the day, it was a legend called Ian Dobrin. He was the guy that sorted everyone out jobs. So he was the, what would you call him?
Recruiter.
The recruiter, yeah. So I went to see him. So my mate said, you know, do you want a job? And I said, yeah. He went, well, go see Ian Dobrin, he'll sort you out. So I went to see Ian Dobrin in Loughton, went and see him, and he went, yeah, I can put you with this guy. You know, I'll get you Golf GTI. You just need to turn up and speak to him and talk about stuff. So I was like, great. So I went to see this guy, and I thought, you know, because my mum had recently bought me a nice jumper, I thought I'd wear a pair of jeans and a nice jumper. And, you know,
so we're both idiots.
What do you wear? So I turned up in this, and to be honest, he didn't mention anything. They were, you know, from the right side of the river, so they knew not just to throw me out. So they listened to what I had to say. And when I left there, I got a call back from Ian Dobrin, and he said to me, look, yeah, they like you, they want you, but can you put a suit on and not turn up in a jumper? And I was like, I quite like that jumper. And he was like, change it. So I changed it, you know, and I got there. And I remember two things about my first day as an estate agent on the Isle of Dogs in E14. One, no one told me how to get home. So the day I was when I was leaving, this is the second part. They gave me a car. They said, here's your car. It actually turned out to be a Fiat Bravo. It wasn't a Golf GTI at that point. I was a bit annoyed about that. But it was the new one. So, you know, hey, and I'm thinking, you know, I've been allowed into this place where, you know, you can sell property and their stuff. So I was very G'd up. I was really excited.
Can I just say, company car?
Yeah.
You know the reference.
Yeah, I was really excited. And then I remember I was about to leave at the end of the day, and I said to the manager, Mike, his name was, I won't say his full name, and I said, how do I get home? Like, what's the way off the island? And I remember he looked at me, still-faced, and said, well, no one told me. Oh. And that was my baptism of fire.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Into real estate. And I looked at him and I was like, a lot of words I could say at the moment. And they just walked off. They got in their cars, they left, and I was in this car thinking, okay, I've got to find a bridge so I can get off the island. And I ended up the wrong way of the river, coming back to the Dartford Tunnel on the opposite side, and ended up at the M25 there. And I do not know how it happened. But what I do know, the whole time I was smiling because I was in a brand new car.
Love it.
And there was blokes next to me and they wasn't. Right. And that was the beginning of real estate. And that is why, and I think you would say this as well, we fell into it.
Yeah, totally.